keep going down a step, I'm gonna raise my hand with the number that we're at.
Oh, cool.
What page do you want this to be on?
You follow the steps I'm going through.
132.
Can I turn you in?
Yeah, if you want to. Okay, so like, let's say that you got a client who's coming to you and they're not in the, I mean, you're kind of triggered, but like, right now she's not flipping out. So this is a very mild trigger. This is not what we would consider to be a serious trigger where somebody's obviously in a state of duress. If somebody's obviously in a state of duress, it's quite easy. You just go straight into whatever emotion's coming up. But like, if you're dealing with a low level, kind of like, I'm not feeling great right now about life, you want to get them talking about that. That focus on that particular issue starts to create the trigger. It intensifies the emotion. So what's the deal?
Okay, so I'm 45, and I feel like I'm nowhere near where I want to be. As a matter of fact, I feel like I am an utter failure. And
When did this come up?
when I was 8, not really, but
Well, you're already jumping the gun. I mean, like,
No.
like, why is this coming up at this moment?
no, it's coming up at this moment because well, number one, I'm here with you, and you're reflecting what I maybe have always wanted to be. And the people are here, these people, who are very loving and kind people. But I'm also very aware of my disconnection, and that scares me. Don't want to be disconnected, and I don't think I can become connected. I think I'm incapable.
Okay, so that you feel that incapability?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so I want you to close your eyes. I want you to go into that incapability, that feeling that you're calling incapability, and tell me what that feels like in terms of sensation within the body.
I feel tremendous tension here. I feel cut off here. I feel tension here.
Describe what that tension is like if I couldn't feel it.
It feels like two forces being pulled apart, mainly from the top and bottom, like it's an up and down sensation even here at the heart.
So if there was an image associated with it, what would it be?
You know in the Matrix, when Neo is with Mr. Smith in the interrogation room,
Yeah.
and Smith has shown him that the Matrix, like how powerless he is in the Matrix, and like his mouth becomes sealed,
Yes.
and he can't open his fucking mouth,
Yes.
and everything is taken away.
Good. I want you to sit with that feeling, and I want you to give it the message. I'm completely here with you now. I'm completely here with you now. Just let it flood your whole being. I'm willing to feel this. I welcome this feeling. I feel it intensifying.
I feel it being pulled away from me.
Who's pulling it away?
Something that's below the ground, that's like a disembodied entity.
Do you want it back? Do you want that feeling back, or do you want it to be gotten rid of?
I want the feeling back.
Okay, so ask it to come back. I'm ready for this. the image that came up in association with it.
I'm not really able to pull that back up.
Okay, so what's coming up now? If you work with that right there where we went into an intensity, that actually was not a dissociation. Ironically, if you felt that, what that was is just her being present with the emotion gave the emotion essentially a permission to dissipate. So then we come back to whatever's present right now in this moment. That can continue to be your tool. So right now in this moment, what are you feeling?
Hopeful and a little badass. Almost kind of like, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay is what I feel. Hopeful. That's not really good. That's actually, there was something in the shadows.
You see that? You just wait for them. Okay, so let's go into the shadow. If you were to allow that to spill into your body so you completely felt that feeling, what would you be feeling?
Rejection, pulling away. I don't want to feel that. I feel, again, pulling this time right here.
Okay, so drop down even deeper then. I want you completely in that. So instead of escaping it, you're going to say, I'm completely here with you
I
now.
kind of don't want to. I'm feeling a lot of, I fucking want to do it, man. I didn't even know that existed. What the fuck?
I'm here with you. We're both here with you. This aspect of you needs you to be with it.
I don't know who that is.
We're going to do this together. I want you to just drop down into it.
I'm getting hot. I don't know who this is,
Just
Teal.
describe the feeling to me. Stay with the feeling.
It just feels like there's this part of me that's been hiding out. Like hiding.
Feel that intensity, that gripping that's happening?
Yes.
When was the first time I felt this feeling?
1-year-old.
Where are you?
My grandmother's house.
Are you in first person perspective or are you looking around from another perspective?
I'm looking at me.
Okay, what I want you to do is to merge with this little 1-year-old so you're now in the 1-year-old's perspective.
Just hate them all. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate them. I just fucking hate them.
You feel that hatred in your body? Let yourself actually feel that. You want to give yourself the message. I'm completely here with this feeling. This feeling is right to feel. It's okay that I hate them. So this time you're choosing to feel that hatred, to feel those painful emotions, that sort of ripping apart that you feel. And I'm here with you as you experience those things. the willingness to feel. So this is the mode, by the way, that the tape starts to play forward. Remember how we were talking about skipping CD? The CD just went past the skip, we started to play forward. So that's when we get on board, and we turn the memory, which up to this point has just been the experience, we turn it into an active visualization. So I want you to separate from being this first person perspective little kid, so you're now the adult you within the scene with this little kid. And I want you to validate this child. That's the first thing you're gonna do. If you wanna just pick her up from wherever she is and hold her to, that's totally fine. But the message I want you to give her is, you're right to feel this way. Anyone who's in your position would feel this way. Did you feel that relief? So that was, we were awaiting the relief, now we got it. So now we're gonna switch to the resolution phase. This is the first stage of integration. So I want you to, in this scene, she does have other fractured aspects, by the way. So in this scene, I want you to call back the other aspects of this child that are separated. The ones that tried to cope with that intense severing or that horrible feeling of being torn, being angry and hating. You can say, okay, it's time to come back now, we're ready to move forward. So come back and join this child because she needs you. Now tell us what's happening and how many are coming back.
There's a flood of,
What do they look like to you? Are they replicas or do they look kind of ghost misty?
they're all these people that are, they're me. They're hundreds of fractures of me, and they're different ages that are coming, and they're all like saying this. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a whole bunch of people. But they're all me, and they're all like slightly disfigured, but they're all like hiding. They're all like malnourished.
So this is a reflection of how she felt at that moment, essentially. So what you're looking at is the way the mind is symbolically representing her emotional state at that particular phase. So what you can do is ask to see the kids as they really are. And call them back.
I see an embryo, or
So her subconscious mind is already trying to show her there's like all kinds of trauma. This is real common, by the way, if you're working with somebody for the first time with this process. The subconscious mind is kind of like, yay, the floodgates are open, this is my opportunity. You know, like I'm never gonna get another one. So, yeah. So does it feel good to let them, feel free to turn it back to the person, like I'm about to do here. Does it feel good to have these aspects come back into its child or no?
no, she just,
But do they want to be helped also?
they want to be helped. But it feels like a pattern. It feels like her pattern. It feels like this is why she is so angry at the adults.
Yes.
They're all putting stuff on her that is not hers.
Okay.
And she just wants to be like validated for being just and taken care of. She's just 1 year old, and it's just everybody gives her everything.
Okay, so validate, say whatever you need to do, so we just stepped back a step. Let her, so we're still in validation. That was another aspect of her that needed validation before we go into any kind of resolution. Okay, so what does she need to know, out of curiosity? We're all pretty interested. What does this little girl need to know from you? Does she need validation that it's not okay that they keep putting this on
She
her?
needs somebody to protect her
Okay,
and to stand up for her and to give her space.
okay.
And to stop putting their shit on her. Stop blaming her for their own failures.
That's an okay thing to want. That was another validation. I want you to tell this little girl that that's an okay thing to want. And that's an okay need. And she deserves to get that need. Do you see these other fractured aspects of yourself? Are they still in the scene, or did they disappear?
They backed off, but they're still there.
Okay, I want you, who's your safe support figure?
Yoda.
Bring Yoda in, okay?
Okay. He's little. It's really good. He's perfect.
So do you feel the way that she feels about Yoda? She feels like, oh my God, finally, I'm not responsible for this.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want Yoda to collect these aspects that just came forward. So he's in charge of them, and he's solving all of that. Like, Yoda's a capital badass, so like he can deal with that. Okay. So now I want you to call back the fractured aspects again.
Yes, much more clear.
Okay, so what do they look like?
Just little girls that like pets, like cats and dogs and puppies. Just little kids that want to just connect with innocence.
Do they want to merge with this 1-year-old that you're dealing with?
Yeah.
Or- Okay,
And
so
she wants them back, it
good.
seems.
Bring them back in.
Mhm.
And of course, you're gonna, yet again, you're gonna explain, come back in because we're ready to go forward. We're not gonna be stuck here anymore.
Mhm.
Step 11. Okay, for resolution, this little child, what needs does this child have? Now that she feels validated and is ready to move forward emotionally, what does this child need? You mentioned defense to begin with. So who does she want to have defend her?
Somebody who's not in the room. Okay, it feels like it's a spirit guide, masculine.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's my natural father, who I don't know, or that energy, but it feels like man. It feels like masculine.
Okay. So what is this masculine figure going to be doing?
Holding her up and not fucking molesting her, like.
Okay. How about he's gonna hold her up so high that nobody can reach her? What do you want his response to be if somebody tries to reach her?
nice masculine figure handled me when it was allowed into this vision. It was very dark, and it wrapped its arm around me, and I didn't like its arm. I didn't like the way it feels. I don't like the way it looks. It feels very sick.
Okay, so who do you wanna have come deal with that?
I think Yoda. I mean, seriously.
Okay, have them deal with it. What did they do?
He sliced off the arm, and then the whatever figure, entity that it was connected to was like a wall of darkness. And then the arm is severed, ashen, being made, being transmuted.
You want Yoda to be the one that defends you?
I think so.
Then why don't you have him hold this little
Because he's got his lightsaber.
Tell him to get rid of it
Okay.
for a minute.
Okay.
Maybe he can, like, it'd be fun if Yoda even put on, you know one of those, like, baby carrier things that they use in other countries? Like, they have him put him in a baby carrier.
That's all right. All right.
Okay, so where does she want Yoda to take her? Or what does she want him to do? Does she want Yoda to tell the parents how it is? Or does she want Yoda to just take her out of the scene?
She needs Yoda to, she wants, to leave.
Okay.
Okay.
Does she want to go to the safe space? That was, we skipped through step 12 just then, because she said we want to leave, so we don't, there's no reason to give an option. She wants to leave.
Yeah, she'll go to the safe space. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so essentially, we're past step 13 and 14, we literally just skipped because of that, because there was no desire to stay home. There was no desire to stay in the scene. We essentially skipped forward to the option of safe haven. So we are going to the safe space. That's step 15. Okay, so describe your safe place. We haven't heard about it yet, so Yoda's taking her to safe space. How is he getting there?
Just slung her over his back and flew. So he's put me in the middle of his bed, and it's a big white fluffy bed with white comforter and white lace eyelet and little pink bows and 4-poster bed and
I love that.
ocean view, like white wicker furniture from the 80s.
Okay, I want you to basically turn back around. Can you see the memory kind of off in the distance? I want you to let this child pop the memory. Does that work? Okay, now I want Yoda to ask the little kid if she'd be up for a healing bath in the magic water.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, so have them give her a bath. By the way, you can get elaborate with this section, like you can have their favorite shampoo. You know, I've got kids that like really like apricot shampoo. So like I've got an entire arsenal. So like that's what they get when they come there. They get, and have her drink the water too.
Yoda doesn't look like he can swim too well. So he's just floating and I'm swimming.
So are you having fun time in the water and you wanna stay in the water, or is there another need that you have that you wanna get met within the context of the safe space?
No, I just wanna be here and explore a safe place. I feel very safe here, actually.
Yeah, by the way, that was step 18 right there,
Mm-hmm.
checking for completion. Do we have any more needs that need to be met within the context of the safe space? She says no. So now you can ask the kid, does she wanna stay there and play there with you, or does she wanna merge with you as an adult?
I want her to merge with me.
Ask her what she wants.
I know, right? She wants to stay there with me, so let her stay.
Yeah, so what I want you to do for a minute, this is the resourcing aspect. I want you to sit there in the safe space in this. This is the improved vibration. This is where we've gone. This is the resolution, right? So I want you to milk it for all it's worth. Feel what that feels like to be playing around with Yoda and watch him be really sucky at swimming, and to like, you know, just realize that you're totally safe and it's nice here.
I feel issues of embarrassment, not inside, but on the outside. I feel vulnerable, a little exposed.
But that wasn't a trigger. You feel the difference? That's the natural result of sitting in front of 22 people doing this process. You feel like you're not, you can kind of feel how that charge went away, right? Okay, so whenever you're ready, I want you to bring your consciousness back and make it a real slow process. Nobody's running out of time here, so. Yeah, so tell us what your perception is like now that you're back here. Do you feel any changes?
I feel very much in my body, and I feel very exposed and clear, grounded.
Do you need to know anything from us or anyone specific in the room? Because what I'm watching essentially is that there's an unmet need in you right now to be validated that it's actually okay that we just, that exposure happened, basically. Like, by the way, you need a lot of reassurance. I'm just giving you this as like separate from what we're doing right now. I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're somebody who suppresses your needs for reassurance and validation and approval and acceptance.
That's exactly what I'm feeling right now, yeah.
So like, that's the perfect opportunity to begin meeting those needs by actually saying, like, and target one person instead of the entire, like, group. Like, I want you to look around the room and pick somebody who you feel you need some kind of validation from, or some kind of, you know, permission to be exposed from, and actually engage in that conversation. Like, I actually need to know that it was okay that you just saw that aspect of me.
That's really scary. That's really scary.
I know, but I'm gonna challenge you to do it because, like, the thing is, I'm sitting here with you. So, like, this is a good place to do scary things.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to see how it's okay for you to get that need met. So, like, who in the room do you feel the most nervous about having exposed yourself in front of?
Okay, I feel totally validated by all the women. I can't even begin to touch the men. Can't even, won't go there. Won't.
So why is that? Do you feel unsafe around them, or do you need some kind of validation from you.
I feel totally unseen.
Alright, so you need to be seen by them then.
Oh no, but I can't. I can't. I couldn't possibly. I couldn't possibly. No. No. No.
Who's my most sensitive?
Mm-hmm.
Come here for a second. I know I'm challenging you right now, I'm sorry. But I want you to just sit there in front of her. And I want you to reflect to her what you just saw. Like, what was your impression? You don't even need to think about what she needs to hear. We're just interested in what it was like for you listening to her.
It felt, you did really good. It felt really calm through the whole process. And you're really good at expressing your feelings, like putting those emotions into words. So it just flowed so natural.
Did you learn anything about her? Like, how did you see her differently because of this than you have for the last few days?
She felt much more vulnerable and authentic. Not so much softer in a way.
How did that feel to you when she got softer?
Very good.
Why?
Because I'm really sensitive to like sort of a harsh energy.
You wanted to actually be let in and see who she really was. So you probably felt softer towards her too.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you understand her more.
Yes.
What do you understand about her after her telling you about that process?
That she's not like this high priestess, but is actually a normal person as well. Because you seem like a person with very, like, so many abilities, and
it's intimidating sometimes?
yeah, it is.
So you liked seeing the fact that there was this 1-year-old who was just super mad at the world.
Yeah.
And you probably liked Yoda too.
Yeah.
That
I
makes you
love
very
Yoda.
approachable.
Amazing, safe person.
Mm. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to receive 10% of that. Honestly, I just look, I hear, but I'm just, there's
That's
a
okay.
big wall.
I know there's a big one, but we're working a teeny bit on the wall. And I watched you, I mean, if you guys were watching her, there was at least one point there where your whole body language shifted and you were actually able to, like, completely look at him.
Yeah.
So we'll consider that a success for the day.
Thank you.